Hey y'all, Rachel from Let's Be Authentic. There is a risk in you not sharing with the people in your life that you care about when a rupture happens, when something is done that has impact, that doesn't feel good, that leaves you thinking about it afterward, like, ooh, I didn't like that. And sometimes even when we don't think about it, right? Sometimes there can be an impact that we're not really conscious of. And what can happen when we have those little moments, they can be so small and almost feel insignificant. In fact, sometimes we can talk ourselves out of it being a big deal. Like, oh, they didn't mean it. Oh, it was just this. And here's what happens. If you imagine every relationship and connection in your life having like a little bucket that just represents it. And every time one of those rupture, even if it's minor, happens, a drop goes in the bucket. And if you're not regularly emptying out that bucket, it will at some point get heavy. And then when it comes time to pick that bucket up, aka be in connection with this person, there might come a point where you're actually like, this is too heavy and I don't really want to carry this anymore. And therefore not call the person back or be more reluctant to accept plans. And so it's really up to each of us to inquire in any relationship, like, is this one I want to invest in? Is this rupture something that could actually bring us closer and bring, a depth in connection because we're actually like coming through the other side of it? And sometimes I will say it might be easy to talk yourself out of that being possible, especially if you have trauma that's related to relationships. I feel like a lot of us do. I'm not going to say all, but so it can be easy to talk yourself out of what's possible. But really think about the types of interactions that you've had with this person, the capacity that they've shown in the past, maybe during periods of adversity or stressful situations, and really check in with like, what would be possible if I actually brought this in a loving way to say, hey, I'd really like to connect with you. It's in service of our connection. It's in service of feeling closer to you. And, another important piece to that is really owning what's yours. Because a lot of times things that trigger us can actually be our own past hurts or things that are unresolved within us just getting touched on. And so sometimes, if we're able to own that we have these sensitivities or these past wounds, and it's really like, hey, like this may be all me and this happened between us and our connection, then you have the opportunity to really heal that and repair that together and come out stronger on the other side. So the risk is, again, by not doing that, by not giving the connection the opportunity to make a proper repair, your bucket gets heavy and you might not want to carry it anymore. The risk is that you have the potential of losing a connection or a friendship or relationship that's actually really meaningful. And maybe it's not necessary that you lose it if we can bring what's true for us and what's coming up for us. These are hard conversations too. I don't want to make it sound like, these are just walks in the park. These are the kind of conversations that you're probably going to feel a little stressed about beforehand. And you might have a lot of resistance. And I'm speaking from a lot of my own experience being that way. So it is not an easy conversation to have. But when it can be met with skillfulness and loving kindness during and even before, it can really be so beautiful to come across the other side with this person and feel like, oh, now we actually understand each other more deeply and are able to have even more compassion and understanding. So take what you will and leave the rest. That's all for now.